Hello makers, it's time for another vlog. Now in today's vlog, I have quite a few updates to give you guys. I'm trying out quite a few printers for review. I'm going to speak about, well, almost all of them. Then I need to give you an update on the Kudo3d Bean resin 3D printer. I spoke about this on my Patreon Hangout stream. Now it's time for me to update you guys. And I need to explain to you why I think that backing it on Kickstarter was a very bad idea for me. So this is the Bean, and I did a video on this, like an initial thoughts video when I received it, and I was actually quite impressed. Print quality was spectacular, while it was relatively expensive because it cost me, I think, about $299 for the actual unit because I was an early bird, not a super early bird. I added a few things on top of that, came to about $499. Then on top of that, 250 euros worth of shipping. So we're talking about a 700 euro resin 3D printer here. A while back, I did some miniature figurines for a board game that came out on Kickstarter. It's by a Maltese company. It was very successful, well funded, and now they have some beta testing units to send out. So they asked me to print the miniatures once more. Now in the past, I printed those on the Paopoly Moai, and it performed absolutely brilliantly. But seeing as I was so happy with the prints, I decided to actually use this machine. We were doing okay until we were not anymore. These are some of the failed prints that I had, and they range from random holes everywhere in the prints, missing pieces, supports just sort of stopping midway, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. So I decided to remove the vat and, well, do a test. So I lit up the whole LCD screen, and I instantly noticed that there were kind of like black blotches everywhere forming on the LCD screen. These black blotches basically were stopping the UV light from going through and not curing the resin. Now this was only about 100 hours into using this 3D printer, so I really wasn't expecting the LCD to start dying. So I got in touch with Kudo3d. I sent them an email. I got no response. Then I kind of nudged them through Twitter. I updated a few photos telling everyone what was going on, and then I got a response. They asked me a few questions. What about the LCD? Can I take photos? Explain to them what happened, and I did. And then I got their reply, and that's where my blood started to boil. So Kudo's response basically encapsulated the fact that they've only tested 10 printers so far themselves, and they only saw problems after about 500 hours of use. They can't commit to the problems I have because they need more people to come up with this issue. They are certain that more issues will arise in the future. They feel that LCD technology is still relatively new, so maybe it was a bad idea to go with this kind of printer. And once again, I'm quoting here. And finally, they said that they won't replace my screen or shipping for free. I have to pay for the screen and the shipping because currently they're subsidizing the super early bird machines to send out. And this costs them about $320 to produce. That is just unacceptable to me. I was just completely blown away. That kind of response should not be sent to customers. Now, Kudo3d is a well-established company. They have other 3D printers, other successful 3D printers on Kickstarter. So they should know how this works. It is not an excuse to put out a super early bird, having to subsidize that, and then let other Kickstarter backers suffer the consequences. You have to have a warranty. Now, while I understand that this is a consumable, the LCD screen is a consumable, it will wear out eventually, but not after 100 hours. I was gonna wait a while until they sort of came around, but in the meantime, at least one more person has showed me photos of the same issue happening. Along with that, this person also has problems with the vat leaking resin, which I kind of saw in this as well. Because of the kind of way the FEP film is screwed into the vat, I can see how that is happening because I could see mine starting to seep on the outside. In this case, with him, well, the resin just went through the screen, it froze the screen, it went through the wires, and that's basically a dead unit. And once again, they don't offer warranty. Had I known, I kind of am kicking myself right now because a couple of €100 more and I could have gotten myself another Moai, and that nothing touches the Moai in its price range. Not to mention that the Moai has impeccable customer support. Mark is always there to help whenever you need, and there's also Matter hackers, and they're known for their customer support being absolutely on point. So I don't see any reason, honestly speaking, at this stage, through my experience, once again, my experience, why you should go for this when you can go for something like that. Now, 2 of these models take about 6 hours to print on the Bean 3D. And the reason why I couldn't put more is because whenever I added a 3rd model, well, the onboard slicer of the Bean just froze and I had to restart everything. So more than 2 was not an option for me. Whereas on the Moai, I could put 6 models, 8 models in one go and have them done in about 9-10 hours. So I had all of these done in about 2 days, whereas these took me about a week of failures, and I averaged about 60 euros per print. So now that my rant is over, well, let's head on to some good stuff. Also, if you're hearing any noises in the background, well, they're putting in railings and the staircase. I'm also testing out the GTech A3. Yes, another CR10 clone, but to be fair, it's actually not half bad. It's actually quite good. Quite a few nice features. Very, very responsive touchscreens. Probably has one of the nicest. It actually has a very nice touchscreen. Probably one of the most responsive touchscreens that I've used. And a couple of additional extra features which actually work on this. Next to the A30 is my baby. This is my Sigma R17. I did a whole upgrade to it. I changed the stepper motors for the X-axis, changed the voltage to the drivers. I did a conversion thanks to Envio Engineering, who sent me the parts. I recorded the whole process and I will have a video uploaded soon once I get to edit all of it. And it's printing beautifully. As you can see, there are 2 vases there. Those were printed in tandem mode, so I have both heads printing something at the same time, which is identical. Now, seeing as this place is a bit loud because, well, they keep on doing, well, construction outside, I think it's best if we head down to the garage. That is the Anycubic Chiron. It's, well, yeah, it's another CR10 lookalike, but here's what I think happened. So the CR10 was released, what, a year and a half ago, and since then we've had the TiVo Tornado, the CR10S, the CR10S4, S5, CR10 Mini, the GTech A3, there was the Tronxy, there was the ANET. There were all these companies that jumped on the CR10 bandwagon, except Anycubic. Anycubic seems to have just sat in the sideline and watched and waited. And in my mind, I feel that what they did was they waited to see what everyone's comments are. They grabbed all those comments, gave it to their developers, and told them, see what you can come up with. The result is the Anycubic Chiron, and currently it's doing a 220-hour print. It's about 24 hours in at the moment at 150 microns. I'm giving it a hell of a reliability test because part of me really wants this to succeed because I'm in love with this printer. It has a build volume of 400 by 400 by 450, which is incredible. Price-wise, if I'm not wrong, it's going to be about $500. I'm not sure. I will leave links in the video description. This is currently on pre-order. It should start shipping in about 2 weeks, I think. It has everything you could want out of a large format 3D printer. It has a V5 J-head hot end, so you can use E3D nozzles on it. It has a 24 volt, 1000 watt power supply. The bed heats up to about 60 degrees in less than 4 minutes, 50 degrees in 2 minutes. So it can definitely handle the high temperature stuff. Has a touchscreen, has a filament runout sensor. It has a Clone Titan extruder on it. It has a Tri-Gorilla main board on it with removable stepper drivers if you want to change them to TMCs. it's just an absolute beast. And I do honestly believe that Anycubic have done an exceptional job with this machine. And I honestly think it's going to be a huge success. This is the Hictop Dual A3. This is also not on sale yet. This is a test unit. So, a few things I need to explain. First of all, this has a dual IDEX system, which means these two heads move independently. Now, I'm trying to do a large scale. I already did a small test print, which worked perfectly fine. So I'm trying to do my own. So the first one is here. What happened here was my filament snagged on the spool and it stopped, so I had to stop that, so it's not the printer's fault. This is the second attempt. Before I get to this part and explain what happened here, you need to see this. That is probably, it's not probably, I'm quite sure that that is the cleanest dual color print I have ever made. It's not just that there's no color bleed, but the print quality is actually really, really good, which is very surprising. I don't know how much this machine will cost, but it is turning out to be really good. Now, before you tell me, but it failed. Well, yes, it failed. I'm gonna have to do this test print again. But it didn't fail because of the printer. Well, it's not the printer's fault. I just realized what happened and it's my fault. Now I'm gonna guide you through what happened. You see that cable there? You see it's going through there. You see where it's kind of tight there? And then it goes under there. Well, yeah, I kind of laid the printer on the cable, and what happened was this, as it was going up, this was getting tighter and tighter, and it wasn't letting the print head move that way. So the higher it went, the more restricted it was to this side, so that turned into this. But man, that thing is incredible. Up until the point where it failed, it just looks absolutely incredible. These were printed in Filamentum Peruby Red and Filamentum Vertigo Gray. So yeah, impressed. That is it for today, guys. That was a quick visit to the makerspace. As you saw, I still don't have an elevator. I still have nothing in here. No fans, no decent lights. It still echoes. So unless they install that elevator, I cannot bring things down, move things up, arrange things. It's a bit of a hassle. But for now, all these printers that take long to print, I have to use them down here. The reason for that is because I don't want all this noise that's going on in the background to be there where I record in the studio. So they have to be here. That is it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching and joining me on this rant and updates video. Awesome, thank you. Massive thank you to my patrons for their awesome support, my sponsor, Spanner Hands and Magigo, and to you guys for watching. That is it for today. Like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And as always, happy making, guys. Guys.